light tanks with a Tracer and a Widow. Are we gonna get a Zen or a Lucio?
Yo.
This is weird. I know these people. This is very weird.
Oh, you do?
I know some people in this game.
Nice. Now you can flame them.
I only flame Bunny.
Oh wait, Finn. That's Finiesta. Oh.
Finiesta, Accelerate, Josh on the other team.
I'm late. No, unlucky Lumen. Unfortunate.
So what are they running? Winston, D.Va, Tracer, Widow.
Yeah, Winston, D.Va, Tracer, Widow. So I'm not really a fan of Widowmaker on this point, but all the other heroes are absolutely fine. Don't think we need to talk too much about it. Like D.Va, help the Winston with the dive, and maybe in the mid fight gotta peel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what happens before we begin. Okay, they're also playing dive, but with a Genji. How does this initial picture change what we think about this game?
Well, they are clearly expecting dive, or they have a Genji one trick. But I'm gonna go for the prior because I can actually explain it. They are likely expecting a sniper this one because Widow, Genji of course be very good at shutting down the likes of Widow and Hanzo. In general, this is gonna mean you're gonna be peeling a little bit more compared to trying to engage. In some cases, you may even want to completely shift the playstyle to counter dive and dive their front line when they go in. But in general, if the tank matchups are the same, you're usually looking at the DPS file you're playing. So if they're playing two flankers instead of your one, then yeah, maybe more of a counter dive style. So you're probably looking at peeling a lot more if they have this lineup.
Indeed, agreed. For our Widowmaker to be effective, she's gonna need to have the Winston and Genji not chase her the entire game.
She's gonna need to be alive.
Yeah, be alive. Indeed, that's gonna be very important. But it's really hard to make these split-second decisions. As soon as you see all of this, you need to make this decision in like 1 second. That's the difficult part about playing D.Va, to be honest. Like she can do so much, but you have to choose one, and it has to be the correct one.
I kind of like the patience on Matrix though.
Yeah,
because you always see a lot of D.Vas just wasting Matrix, but
just like the enemy D.Va here, she's matrixing right now.
Prime example. But you see Bunny here just not quite using his Matrix straight away. He's kind of analyzing the play field, seeing if he'll need it.
Indeed.
Definitely right. It's good to have. It's probably the most, in my opinion, when I watch D.Vas play, it's one of the main skills I'll look for because it's one of the hardest things to teach. Because you can't really teach patience. It's something that just kind of comes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I really like the fact that you're not just wasting out Matrix left, right, and center.
And where is our monkey though? And wait, where did Widow go as well? That's so the monkey goes a little bit in front of us, and the Widow goes high ground as well. Okay. So would have probably liked to see like the Widowmaker take the left side so that she at least gets a little bit of a sight line here. Because a Widow walking out from this door is just gonna get stuffed by the Winston and the D.Va diving here. But okay, well we'll see what happens. It did say more of a counter dive style. Try to save our Widow.
Holy!
Can't see monkey.
So we instantly lost mech. What
Yeah. That's a bit too much Matrix patience, I think.
Yes, a little bit too much. And our Winston was a little bit slow as well, so we didn't really get the space that we needed. Not really sure what happened there, but what would you have changed here in this situation as the D.Va player?
Like your monkey be in front of you for a start. They also clearly, I imagine they have a Lucio, or at least they had a Lucio speed boost because they're just out of the gates faster. They're further into the kind of neutral ground, if you will, into no man's land before you even leave the doorway. So overall, just like kind of maybe being a bit more prepared to engage, because it seems like we're the second to react here, and as a result, we get slept. As a result, we get naded, and as a result, you lose mech straight away. So having your team kind of be a bit more prepared to go, and overall just being a little bit faster getting to no man's land.
Yeah, indeed. Well, just keeping making sure that you have your tank or your main tank in front of you, so that he actually takes the brunt of the damage, because that allows you as the D.Va player to assist him with the defense matrix in front of you. You can easily react and also help with boops as well, like your boosters. Let's say that you were a Winston instead here in this situation, and you come in with defense matrix, maybe eat the nade. You also boop people away, so this Winston gets booped out and out of his effective range. The Genji maybe screws up his dash as well, but at least you survive.
Can't see monkey.
And you get the counter kill on the Genji.
You can see.
I tried to get over the wall.
Our Widow or our monkey gets discorded and shot down by our Zenyatta here. Or the enemy Zenyatta, I mean.
I mean, that's just what happens when you lose mech, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, just play slow, let's get some numbers back. Or let's go in. Alright, monkey's here.
So obviously, once you lose mech, you don't really have matrix, so you just have free burn.
Oh, really nice drop on the Widow.
Someone's behind him.
Yeah, our Widowmaker got a little bit of a flank there. The Winston let her, or not really a flank, but the Winston just let the door be free, and the Widowmaker got to go out and actually got a pick instantly as soon as that happens. So that was a little bit lucky, but yeah, so far what we can see is making sure that you're actually assisting the main tank and not being the main tank yourself.
You are playing off tank here. That's the most important thing. Remember your role.
Yeah.
Next time we pause, I also have a question I saw in chat. So.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't actually been paying attention to chat a lot. Let's.
It was what's harder, main tank or off tank? Well, what's harder to learn?
What do you feel is harder to learn, main tank or off tank? Okay.
I mean, I can start if you're.
Yeah.
still
Sure.
thinking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's kind of a mixed bag, you know. If you consider yourself kind of well, I'd say that obviously they're both probably, in my opinion, the hardest roles to learn, because you have to int and go against every single one of your instincts to tell you not to. And it was something I had a problem with quite heavily when I first started playing main tank. Was like I never wanted to frontline. I always wanted to be in the back line behind my team, not taking damage and all this. But at the same time, off tank, I'll only consider really D.Va, because as someone mentioned in chat, Zarya and Roadhog are very similar to DPS heroes, but D.Va, you kind of have to be in a million and one places at once and be in exactly the right place, exactly the right time, have picture perfect cooldown management. So it's basically, I would personally say off tank, just because D.Va D.Va's an insane hero to learn. I have so much respect for top D.Va players, because they seem to do everything.
Yeah, agreed.
Like you need to, you have the best zoning ultimate in the game in D.Va. You have probably the most powerful ability in the game in Matrix, but it's learning how to use them is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do as a coach, is learning how to properly teach how to use Matrix and D.Va's kit, really.
Yeah, indeed. Like she has to be everywhere. She has to know which decision is gonna be the best for your team. Sometimes you wanna counter dive aggressively after they have dived. Sometimes you wanna counter dive them defensively to help your supports, keep them alive. Sometimes you wanna play far away. Sometimes you wanna play close. It's such a versatile hero that is. Definitely the one that requires most game sense in the game.
I would say what I was saying about Ana with the mechanics, like, if you make a wrong mechanical decision, like if you miss a shot, someone can die. With D.Va, it's the same, only instead of that mechanical feat, it's instead if you make a wrong decision or even just a late decision, you can cost your entire team the fight.
Yeah.
So it's not only just how skillful it is, it's also how pressuring it is.
Indeed. Yeah, I think I agree. Off tank is probably a little bit, or D.Va is harder to learn than the main tanks. But I would say like Hammond it's a really, really weird hero to play. He's also pretty difficult, at least to be effective with at higher ranks. And well, Winston does require a lot of game sense as well. A little bit similar to D.Va, just that you're more one-dimensional in that you can only jump like one direction. You can't really change directions mid-air, and you can't really do a lot of that stuff. You're more like you're gonna go in, and the D.Va will help you, or you're gonna go in alone, maybe with Primal. It also requires a fair bit of mechanical skill to make Primal usage effective. But probably D.Va is harder. Zori and Hog, as you said, are fairly one-dimensional. You bubble at some specific timings, and then you deal damage, and then you grab. And Hog, wait for pull, and then hook.
The thing is, both roles, kind of your entire team relies on you to survive, where it's just one of them does that with just being there, and the other one does it with actual play. Like, a main tank can do his job just by standing there, but an off tank really has to work hard to get a lot of value.
That's true. Second question: would the best way to continue to improve and learn main tank better? Should I watch POVs from the Overwatch League players? That depends. I would say watch a little bit of pro play just to get a feel for what they're doing, and try to ask yourself why they're doing what they're doing. If it's specific to their team comp, or maybe to a specific situation, like why did the D.Va boost into the enemy team here and let her Ana die or something? Like you need to ask yourself a lot of questions, and unless you're like high GM, I don't think Overwatch League games, or if you're scrimming, then maybe Overwatch League games are okay as a learning tool. But for regular ranked or comp, I think just watching yourself. Watching your own VODs, asking coaches for VOD reviews of your own gameplay, and I think that's it.
I would probably just say maybe watch one Overwatch POV, understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, like Jojo said, and then play a game. Like, just I would genuinely say watch a VOD, then play a game straight after it. Try and implement what you've figured out, and then watch that game back and think about, did I implement this right? How can I implement it better? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this not happen? And like kind of, I guess, compare them. But once you started to kind of play, like watch your own VODs, you're going to get a lot more of understanding your own mistakes rather than trying to, well, basically work on your own mistakes before you try and implement new things, is what I basically say.
Yeah. And a thing that a lot of people get stuck on as well is that when a regular like tip that a lot of coaches give on the internet and on Reddit and shit is to like analyze your own deaths, and people usually get stuck on their deaths. Like that's the first step to analyzing your VODs. Like, why did I die? How could I have prevented myself from dying? But when you get to the higher ratings, around like mid-master, high-master, GM plus, you're going to need to think about team fights instead. So the team fights become a little bit more distinct, and there are a lot more of regrouping and ult combos being used. So instead of thinking about how and why you died, you got to think more about how can I get more value in this team fight, or how could I have changed any of my decisions to maybe save the team fight somehow, or get some extra value in some kind of way. Like sometimes dying was the absolute right call. Maybe you should be like going super ultra aggressive in some situation to maybe trade with their Ana or something, and somehow you manage to kill their own their only healer, and your team manages to out-sustain them.
A thing I don't know if I can give for anyone building game sense, but it'll, like I usually say this for shot calling in particular, but in general it works just for game sense. But what I would actually say is, if you're watching a game back, just pause after a fight, and rather than just continue to watch a VOD, pause it and just look at the info, look at the ults, look at your positioning, look at the enemy positioning, and just think, with perfect information, what would I give as like a call here? What would I do in this scenario? And then that'll kind of, as you do it more and more, you'll kind of build a better idea of what's a good and bad decision. And you'll just in general get faster at making decisions. And as a result, you'll kind of be able to follow fights as you're in them, rather than just being fights can seem very hectic in first person. But
yeah, no, indeed. And definitely make use of the new replay system. The new replay system can definitely improve your game sense by 10 million times, since you can pause it, you can go back in time, you can see it from different perspectives. Like maybe you go in, you see the fight from your perspective first, and then, oh shit, this Genji popped off. Like how did he pop off? What happened? Why did nobody stop him? And then maybe you realize, oh shit, he was on her Ana for 30 seconds and nobody did anything. And I had boosters ready 3 times. Shit, I need to pay more attention to my Ana. And then you can definitely increase your rate of learning that way.
Replay is the best thing for anyone trying to improve their own play.
For sure. Thank you, by the way, Pirate Flag, for the host and the follow. Sorry, keep going, Yokai.
I was just going to say, aside from, asking the likes of Jojo for VOD reviews, and just aside from getting help professionally with VOD reviews and playing in a team and getting coached and stuff, the replay system is your best friend. For sure.
Okay, let's see. We've got some question here. The end of the game, I plan to swap to Widowmaker. Is it a good plan? That completely depends on the game, Gulanka. Widowmaker is a great hero. You gotta be really good at clicking the heads and watching out for dives, though. And let's see, Tolinho, will you accept VODs from a replay system? Well, they aren't really shareable yet, but if you can record it and then just send me the recording, that's absolutely fine. Just like a regular VOD of your gameplay, then, especially if you want to show me some special angle or something that happened from a few different other perspectives, go ahead and record your you watching through the replay viewer. But yeah, okay, let's actually keep going with the VOD here, so Bunny doesn't get super impatient. So we won the first fight. Our Widowmaker popped off a little bit. And now the enemy Widowmaker seems to be popping off.
That's an int. That's an int.
Big int. So we did follow our Winston and the Tracer in here. Let's go back a little bit.
He went a bit further than them.
Yes.
Also, that's just new Matrix. That's just genuinely new Matrix. Yeah. I see what he was going for, though.
Yeah, so it's a good idea. You're assisting your main tank and your DPS here to take control of this room. But just like the first fight, remember that you always need to be behind your main tank. You need to assist them. You assume more of a supportive role.
To be fair, I don't think him going deeper than his main tank is the real problem. It's how deep past his main tank he goes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so weren't really sure what to do there between the Winston and all of the other players being present.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So mostly paying attention to what's going on in front of us, and pretty much shooting the first red person we see so far.
Yeah, I would also say, just in general, being aware of when a fight's lost, because we'd lost 2 there.
Yes.
Also, there's legit 0 calls at the minute, so your monkey has no idea what your cooldowns are.
That's actually true. Nobody has said a word in this game so far.
The Ana has been saying...
Yeah, okay, yeah, the Finiesta does call a little bit.
Finn is coming a lot.
Yeah. Second. Try to peel for the Nano Blade, but...
Bit of tunnel vision though. Wasn't aware that he could get called out. melee into getting into mech. Do you mean meleeing before or meleeing after turn Tolino?
See, high low D.Va's melee into getting into mech. I don't think that actually does anything. Does it cancel voice animation? It might do that actually. But is that really useful?
Do you mean melee then press enter? Oh, sorry, melee then press Q, Tolino.
Yes, it's habit. Funny says
guess
it's
it's habit.
habit. I believe
I mean,
it.
do you have the game up?
I do not have the game up, but we can try.
No. I was going to say if you had it open, we could test it.
Yeah. We can do it after.
Yeah, we'll do it after the board review.
Pretty good dive on the D.Va here.
Nice.
Nice awareness of his own health.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that dive allowed us to take space on the point, cap the point.
Any heals?
Nice burst damage to the monkey.
hit your big.
Good target selection.
Hit you one, hit you one.
But we had boosters and micro missiles there, but we let the Genji get away.
Help, help, get three.
Nice bomb. Actually, I'm not sure about the bomb because there's someone in your backline.
Yeah. So the Genji had actually used dash,
Point back, top right.
and we had our Ana, or maybe it was our, no, it was our Ana, and our Ana. It's fake.
Yeah, so it's like the staggering tracer, unlucky. But yeah, just kind of be aware if you're gonna need, because remember that Matrix basically, sorry, bomb basically takes you out of the fight.
Going left.
So think if your team needs you in the next 5 or 6
I
seconds.
got this for
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
3, 1, 3, 1.
no.
That's unlucky. A bit of an overextension to save your tracer, who's dead to rights.
Yep. Okay, no attempt at defensive play yet. Only been assisting the Winston with the dives, which is good, and assisting with the like damage on tanks.
Yeah.
So Maven, is the face cam okay for a VOD or should I keep it off? That doesn't matter at all. You can do whatever you like as long as it's an okay resolution, like 720p, 30 FPS. Then you can do whatever you want. Okay, now we have a soldier and a tracer.
Classic.
And now
Classic
we don't make
dive.
this time. Okay, so what do you think of this defense matrix usage if we go back a little bit? This is actually really important. So we use micro missiles, we use boosters to boop them away a little bit. We have control over the point.
Yeah,
And we use our entire defense matrix here.
yeah, it doesn't even block anything. The only thing it really does is negate a sleep dart, which is likely going to be woken straight back up anyway, because there's a lot of kind of tiny amounts of spam, but there's a lot of it.
Yep.
So like D.Va's shots, really, yeah, because I think that D.Va is spamming it. So you're not going to take damage, but you're going to get woken up pretty much straight away anyway. But that's the only thing you really get out of that. And now you have no matrix for anything. So yeah, like now you're going to have to wait. I don't even know what's the matrix charge time. I don't know.
I
but yeah.
believe it's double the amount of time it takes to use it, so you can use it for 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
So it's 6 seconds then that you're charging it for, plus the amount of time it takes to actually start charging. So yeah, so you now have 8 seconds where it's 10 seconds to charge. Okay, when you have 10 seconds now that you can't use matrix for. Well, you can use it, but you can't use it in full.
Yeah.
Uh,
And now they are probably setting up for a dive. They're gonna be looking to dive probably your soldier or your Ana, depending on who they see first or who is more vulnerable at the time. And we won't be able to assist in any kind of way. Maybe a little bit with some boops, but that's it. So this is probably going to cost a lot unless we go for a dive first here.
Also, your monkey's in a really bad position now because he can't really peek. He can't peek at all, so he's just going to be kind of sat there waiting for them to come around the corner. And they have basically a 10-second window where they can just spam at the monkey, and you can only temporarily use Matrix rather than a full Matrix usage. So,
Definitely, good point.
yeah.
Oh shit! Well, gotta thank you a lot, Pirate Flag, for the donation, and Bunny for the 100 bits. Means a lot. Wait, did we actually meet the goal? No, almost. Really close.
You have a goal.
No, you get the nudes. The premium snap is coming. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, we're tanking a lot of damage. Good reaction on the Winston diving here though. Did actually
Again, full Matrix usage. Not really kind of rationing out your Matrix use.
Yep. The monkey went in way too hard here without the
And again, he did it a third time. Bit overextension. Very
wow.
big overextension.
Shit, NKZ with the host. Thanks a lot. And welcome to the stream, my friend. So that was a fine moment to use full DM since the monkey had overextended, but
So I'm seeing a lot of like what we said between the round, I'm seeing a lot of personal defense matrix usage, like using it on yourself, or just using it for the sake of using it. But I'm really not seeing it used much for like defending your team or like peeling.
yep. It's okay. If we take a look at the enemy team, they do have a Widowmaker, high priority target, Ana high priority target, but they also have they're probably gonna do some kind of like 2 or 3 man dive together with the D.Va, and well, defense matrix. You how would you actually approach this fight? Would you try and like flank around really hard now and try to dive the Widowmaker? Or would you like try to slowly take space while pressuring tanks and then like see what happens? Or what would you try to do here for the meeting?
My first call to action would be to swap off soldier, but presuming that's not an option, approaching the fight before we even get into the fight,
yeah,
I'd try and secure some form of positioning for our soldier, because he's not a hero that really wants to be pushing in. Do it, face to face with the enemy. He wants to keep his distance, put down some consistent damage. I'd probably, depending on where she's positioned, send our tracer off to try and contest the Widowmaker in some form, or even just distract her a little bit. And then, try and put a bit of pressure on the Ana, or even, the combat running at the minute is also, quite possible to run the likes of, a counter dive where, if they go in, their Genji's pretty vulnerable. He doesn't have dash anymore, so you can get a free pick there. There's a lot of ways to approach it, but I think probably the way a lot of people would do it in ranked, or would rather do it in ranked, would be to send your tracer off on a flank to try and kill the Widow, and then you kind of have a 5v5 where you're a bit better off the longer the fight goes on because you have a bit more sustained sustained damage in the soldier. So you kind of want to I'll kind of reset myself because I have this habit of going off on rambles, but
that's fine.
You send your tracer on the Widow, make it a 5v5, and then look towards their backline if you're going to be playing aggressive rather than counter dive style.
No, I definitely agree. That's probably the easiest way to go about it. So the enemy team definitely wants to try and end this quick with some kind of coordinated dive, where with the Genji dash and the monkey jumping in, maybe the Widowmaker hitting a body shot that can somehow start off the dive, or maybe even a headshot to get the initial pick. That will also be a big go button for the enemy team. But yeah, as you said, we have more sustained damage, and we also have a way to keep the Widowmaker occupied. So we definitely need to wait for the tracer to get in position, get ready to harass that Widowmaker, And then since we have more sustained damage, just move up to the tanks. Try to pressure the tanks so that Ana has to maybe waste some cooldowns, maybe waste the heal nade defensively on the tanks, and try to look to see what goes on from there. And you can definitely try and go for more of a counter dive style, since you've got the healing station and we've got the defensive capabilities to try and deal with the Genji. Unless they have a Nano Blade, then we're probably screwed. But we do have a beat, so it should be fine for now, at least.
I mean, I mentioned sustained damage. The enemy team is entirely burst damage. Actually, I just realized.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have Widow and Genji, so entirely burst damage compared to pretty much entirely sustained, really, because Tracer is kind of more consistent.
Yeah, Tracer's fine. Like, Soldier isn't gonna need a lot of healing either. So like Ana's gonna be able to focus a lot on the tanks, and that will probably give them the upper hand. So, okay, we want to take it slow. See what happens.
I got nano.
And let's see what happens in chat meanwhile as well. How old are you guys?
Genji's left.
I am 26. Shit, I don't know how old I am. Yeah, I'm 26.
I'm not with you, Soldier. I'm nano you in.
Your chat's bullying me. I don't like it.
Unlucky. Okay, so our monkey goes real hard with the nano. They pop beat.
And die.
We eat the bomb.
Yeah, there's a lot of careless Matrix usage at the minute.
Yeah.
Like we're not giving any time to really charge up. That was a nice boop, actually. I don't know if it was intentional, but
It was a really nice move.
we're playing constantly at like the limit of our Matrix rather than giving time for resources to regen. So while we're getting a lot of kind of little uses of Matrix, we could maybe like I say take a bit more time to let it build up, and then we get a much more valuable uses. Because using it as much as you can isn't always getting the most value out of it.
Yep. Like being okay with doing nothing as well. Like hide around the corner, wait for cooldowns. Like we are pretty much constantly peeking and taking damage, which is something that you need to think about as a D.Va.
Keep taking damage.
Especially when playing dive. Like the tanks, you want to take as little damage as possible while you're setting up, so that you're actually healthy and you've got cooldowns ready for when the dive is going on.
I mean, if you have nothing to do, there's no reason to force something.
Yeah. Especially when we have control over the points.
Exactly.
So
Playing
this
slow is actually
a pretty
very valuable.
interesting fight here. Let's see. So they go for a hard dive onto our Ana with the Nano Blade. We beat
I got.
and instantly bomb as soon as we get it.
Right, we're on 4 ults so far.
A little bit of an overall thing.
5 ults, primal.
Ouch.
I don't know if Tracy used pulse bomb.
Yeah, she used it. We used
She did
literally
6
6
ults.
ults.
They used
Oh
all
my
6 ults.
goodness. Ooh, NKZ, Young's top 500. Well played.
Nice, good job, guys.
You want to co-host VOD reviews for a Roadhog? Okay, sure. We can fix that. We can fix that.
Only Roadhog gameplay, because
Only
NQC
Roadhog.
he feeds on every other hero he plays.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of Roadhog VODs at the moment, but I'll hit you up as soon as you can.
They're bullying me. This isn't fair.
Yeah, it's fair. You deserve it. Everybody deserves some bullying in their life. I always feel like if I stay away from fight, I'm gonna be flamed. Shouldn't you get flamed if you take like 300 DPS all the time and the Ana has to pump healing into you like the entire game? I feel like that's more of
the thing is,
an issue.
if someone's flaming you for doing nothing, that's their problem.
Yeah.
The one I don't really think is a good advice at like a high level, but the best advice I give people at lower levels is just honestly to leave chat, because it will distract you or make you make mistakes because they will say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this," when in reality you're doing the right thing. It's just, maybe a different aspect of your play was wrong. So people will try and coach as you go while they're playing themselves, and it's best to, if people are flaming, it's best to zone them out of your head, mute them, do something.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Like there are so many people that blurt out random comments that usually aren't even close to the issue that's going on in the game. Like there's no way you can, as a single person watching, especially when you're playing yourself and watching your own gameplay and from your own perspective, there's no way you can know what went wrong with the other players. You can guess, but like guessing and and flaming your teammates, those are never really good options. So don't care too much about what people say in ranked. If you're playing in a team, if you have coaches, of course, then listen to their advice, try to incorporate it into your gameplay. But in ranked, I would say just focus on what you think is right, and then you might make mistakes. That's fine. Talk to other people, like watch VOD reviews, talk to other like D.Va players, since you're a D.Va main. Like ask them, okay, I did this in this situation, can you take a look here? Is this good? Is this bad? Like could I have done other things? And well, watch some other D.Va players in similar situations and see what they are doing. But don't take advice from people in the game like that. That's usually just wrong.
You've got to remember, people, when they're flaming, they're often just mad because they're not playing too well. So then you'll find that no one in ranked will ever say, "Sorry, that was my bad."
Yeah.
That's basically like, yeah, you don't need to worry about people flaming you. If people are flaming you, the best thing to do is just ignore them.
Yeah.
Because like, especially in a situation like that where it's like, if I do nothing, then I'm afraid to be flamed. If you're doing nothing, you're not feeding. So.
Yeah, and hi, by the way, negative OW. Thanks for the follow and welcome to the stream. Let's keep going here on the Sanctuary. No, wait, Sanctum. Sanctum. We have Orisa D.Va this time. We've got some more spam damage. Ooh, nice eats.
The wrong eat.
Unlucky, yeah. We did eat the dynamite, but not the pull.
Yeah, in bunker comps particularly, you're mainly looking to eat halts, especially when it's Roadhog and Orisa, because you want to be eating the halt, preventing the halt hook.
Yep.
If you eat the halt, then you can kind of close the ground, I guess. But also, you just in general, you're gonna have better overall fight sustain if you prevent them from getting picked.
And just in general, this fight as well, since we lost our Hanzo immediately at the start, we're not really looking to win the fight per se, go like super aggressive like we did, like try to contest points super early. You're most likely gonna want to just delay as long as possible, let your teammates get some ult charge, make sure that you eat those halts, play a little bit safe, wait for your Hanzo to get back, and then we can start pushing in a little bit harder when because I think there was a pretty long time before the point unlocked anyway.
I really don't know why we have a Genji. No.
Yeah, Genji against bunker is usually not very effective.
Against it, he's fine, but with it, he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, this is absolutely fine. Ashe taking a very aggressive flank angle. Definitely want to get her out of there.
Yeah, your Widow's popping up as well. Although I will say, actually, yeah, just responding to Bunny in chat, yeah, it is really hard to eat ults now. I've seen D.Vas where they've had to like fly to eat them.
Yeah, the new halt is actually stupid. But just a small detail here. So when you're using boosters, this was actually fine, but always try to, if you have some kind of high ground available to you, always try to land there, just so that you have the option to like maybe hide behind the corner or just take a few steps back and not take damage. Because since you're landing here in front of the Roadhog and the Orisa, you will most likely die if they decide to focus you or hook you and pull you. But by landing up here, you at least have the option to move out of the fight and get some healing if you need to, or maybe just move out for like half a second, see that they turn their attention towards something else, and then you swoop in with some more damage, because you do a lot of damage to tanks, especially if you get to go point blank. So if you have the opportunity to, always try to land on those high grounds.
Left.
Hey, the Widow is popping the fuck off. Holy shit. So,
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. So, yeah, like landing up here, maybe you don't even decide to go for the tanks. Maybe you see, oh shit, the Widow is just respawned. I need to go defend her, or I mean contest her. That way you get a better view of the fight. You can make a more informed decision. And
You also don't hard commit to the point. Like if you land on a high ground, you can kind of you still have a bit of safety if someone tries to rush you. Like not necessarily against bunker, but when you're playing against like goats and stuff, if you're taking the high ground, you can't really get rushed by them, so you're not really risking death. Whereas if you use your matrix within the vicinity of them, they can just hard into you and kill you.
indeed. That was a pretty well-placed bomb. Oh, was it on purpose though? That
No, it
flick
wasn't.
looked really, really panicky.
No, he wanted to put it up, but instead it hit the roof and then launched itself forward.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I've seen you do a few of these flick bombs now, and I usually don't recommend them a lot, because you want to have a pinpoint accuracy with where the bomb is landing. So you either, if you know you're gonna go for like a zoning bomb when they decide to push in, or like pop some ultimates, you usually want to place yourself a little bit further away from the fight, so that you can line up a perfectly placed bomb, and you're also not gonna be hit by like CC, like maybe you get pull hooked or grabbed or something like that if you're a little bit further away from your team and the fight.
Also, just consider where your baby D.Va form is going to land, because, you see a lot of D.Vas where they'll end up falling off the map because they do it too close, or they'll end up just falling right in the middle of the team and get absolutely melted. So just be cautious where you're actually bombing from as well.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, absolutely, NKZ, I'll hit you up, dude. And yeah, the timing of the bomb, just like you said, was a little bit off, and that's because you weren't really ready for it, or you hadn't prepared for it beforehand. Like first, you're doing a lot of reactionary stuff. So you were standing on point first, and then you heard your Widowmaker that needed help over here. So you used your boosters to fly up, but that was too late. And then you got to the point, and then, oh shit, now I need to bomb, but that was also too late. You gotta preemptively think about what you want to do the next fight, and already set up for that play. So maybe this fight you decide to, okay, the Widowmaker is going for a flank, like I'm not going to be able to help her, I need to set up for a bomb, and then you like position yourself all the way over here, and you try to make a bomb land right here as they push on to point and they drop down their Orisa shield. Because even if you don't get a kill out of the bomb, the Orisa is going to be forced to like move on the other side of the shield. She places it over here. So that means all of your teammates that should be standing around here will be able to shoot her and hopefully kill her. Yeah, okay, let's see the next fight here. We're regrouping. Oh, they have they top 9 million off. Unlucky to eat. This goes. Actually, some pretty good defense matrix usage this time. And then some nice body blocking as well here. But they had a little bit too many ults.
Yeah, he took a lot of damage at the start of the fight though, for like almost no reason.
Yeah, they did indeed move outside of the shield's cover. That took a lot of
Whole
damage.
beat inside of the shield, unlucky. That's toxic.
Unlucky.
Unlucky guys, this right, GG.
That bomb wasn't lucky. I knew where I wanted to throw it. Oh, okay. But yeah. Okay. So, what's our verdict? The summary.
Mainly Matrix for me. Not so much on second point. His bunker matrix usage was a lot. It was a lot better, but still, yeah. First point, his matrix. First and second point, his matrix usage was very, very self-centered,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't really going to peel with it per se. He was often keeping himself up in the fight very consistently, but he was using it a lot for no reason. He was burning it and like sitting right on the edge of Matrix a lot. So keep his Matrix usage and his Matrix, I guess Matrix economy would be the right word to use. Like,
I guess why not? It's a pretty
like
good
kind
name
of
and word.
making sure you're not only using your Matrix at the right time, but you're also gaining. You're letting it build back up. You're giving yourself like time away from the fight to kind of get more matrix, because although you're using it less, you have the bigger window where you can make a bigger play with it, get more value out of it.
Yeah, indeed.
Management, matrix management. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Eclipse. Oh, yeah. By the way, Eclipse, I need to give you a mod as well. I'm gonna fix that soon. But yeah, indeed, matrix management. Being okay with doing nothing like mid fights as we're setting up for dives, as we're waiting for cooldowns. You don't want to have the your healers like needing to pump healing into you, because that means you're taking resources away from other persons. Like maybe your Genji can't go as aggressive and farm blade because the Ana has to pump heal you all the time. Maybe maybe your healers or your Ana can't go aggressive, and maybe look for sleep darts, antinades from some kind of side angle because she has to focus on healing you all the time. It's actually pretty important as a tank in general, as a main tank as well, to not take damage. Like you want to take as little damage as possible while still getting as close as possible to the enemy team. Like use natural cover, use flank rotation to routes where you're not in open sight lines. I think that's important. And when you do need to scout, when you do need to gather a little bit of information, because if you're hiding a lot, then you're not gonna know where they're coming from or seeing them. But that's where your defense matrix is such a useful tool. So like you can peek outside just for a fraction of a second, and use that defense matrix to see, okay, shit, there's an Ana main, there's like a soldier all the way left side. Let's dive the soldier. He's alone. And then you're all going to be full HP, you're all going to have all of your cooldowns ready, and everybody's going to be ready to go.
Stabilizing is, I think, the best word to describe it.
That's true.
Also, read the dono.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. I want to try to not read too much things during the actual VOD review, so it's not too annoying for people that watch like the YouTube version of it. But okay, yeah, Multi donated €1. Hard kappa. Joke. Love you all. Thanks, dude. Thanks a lot, dude.
What's that, Multi? There's a few people joking in chat saying it wasn't Multi.
It wasn't Multi? Multi is tier 1.
Got him to say it, boys. We got him.
Okay. Multi is number 2. Number 2 in Sweden. But oh well. Let's see, what else? I guess maybe paying a little bit more attention to your Ana as well. You didn't really take a look at her at all. You did assist the Winston with his dives and all of that shenanigans, but when the Ana was calling for help or had a Genji on her, especially when you hear Genji like dash being used and you have boosters ready, that means you should be hunting that Genji down as hard as possible to give your Ana that space to deal with other things.
Yeah, I would going back to what you said about like scouting and things in general. I just want to hear. I don't even know if you have a mic, but in general, I just want to hear your voice in game a lot more, because with D.Va, you're often helping out your Winston, so your Winston needs to know your cooldown status. You also need to like letting your team know when you've done a matrix, and just in general, what we said about scouting, you're probably the most mobile hero on your team. So as a result, you're probably the best bet to go and scout somewhat. So yeah, just keeping an eye on, or at least making yourself heard a bit more, just because you can present.
Your mic was muted. Okay, unlucky. Yeah, because
That
I
makes a
know
lot of
you
sense.
usually talk, so I knew something was wrong. Unfortunate.
That's an oof.
But yeah, and also when it comes to your bomb usage, instead of always like doing them reactively, try to think before the fight has even started. Like, okay, what am I going to use the bomb for? Am I going to use it as a zoning tool? Am I going to use it in combination with some ult on my team, or am I going to use it to counter some specific ult on the enemy team? Just ask yourself that question. As soon as you have bomb and there's downtime, you need to ask yourself that question and decide one of the many choices that you can make as a D.Va. But yeah, okay, I think that's it for Bunny.